All right, Lou Fuse Athletic, this is Coach Bobby, and today we're gonna do a quick whiteboard session where we go over the movement patterns and the energy systems in soccer. So when we're looking at the movement patterns, it's important that we first assess the biomechanics involved. Now, we wanna think about this in terms of body control equals ball control. So if we wanna have a great first touch or a precise strike, it's very important that we have our body under control first. Some of the qualities that we want to look at for this are balance and coordination, understanding that all these things are performed on a single leg. So when we put that plant foot into the ground, we have to be able to manage the force and momentum that's involved. Now, different ways that we can go about training for this is improving single leg strength by doing things like lunges, single leg squats, things of that nature, as well as improving our trunk control. So that's going to be strength of the upper body as well as the core. Now, all this is going to really help us eliminate any kind of noise that comes into the system. So that's any kind of movement that we don't want, because the more stable we are, the more precise we'll be. The second part of this is looking at the energy systems that are involved and understanding that our game is intermittent in nature. And what that means is we'll have different times where we're jogging, walking, and running. Now, when we do run, we're gonna get into those high intensity efforts and those sprints, and the body is gonna create byproduct. So what we have to do is become really good at managing this byproduct. And the way that we do that is we train for it specifically by looking at work to rest ratios. So if I work for 1 unit and I rest for 4, which could be maybe working for 15 seconds and resting for 60 seconds, my body's gonna become better and better at dealing with that byproduct, and I'm gonna learn how to eliminate and utilize and be in a position to get back in for high intensity sprints again. Now, the more that we can get involved in these high intensity sprints, the more times we're gonna be in a position for those game defining moments, which is very important. Now, what we're gonna look at as far as how to train this is a very simple option. Is we could look at a field, right? So we could jog the sideline, sprint the end line, looking at about 60 to 70%, jogging the sideline, sprinting the end line. Now we could do 2 to 3 laps of that, and then we could do that in about 2 to 3 sets in total. So we can spread them out, and we can make sure that we're running, recovering, and we're constantly getting ourselves in a position to deal with that byproduct. The more consistent and the earlier we start to train like this, the more conditioned our body will be to deal with these efforts, and the better position we'll put ourselves in those important parts of the game. It also has a huge impact on performance and injury reduction.